Speech attracted my attention for the following propositions. One, he set out throughout his campaign to deliberately stop the use of religion from being a wedge issue. It was commonplace, and indeed, unfortunately, still commonplace, for Democratic voters, Democrats to tell undecided voters that if you elect a Republican, there will be an established national religion. And it was Republicans want to tell undecided voters that Democrats really hate all people of religious belief, and that in one subtle form or another, there was this, let's win this election by dividing people on the basis of their faith. Let's not look for common ground. Let's find ways to divide. And Senator Obama, now President Obama, campaigned directly against that, and I think quite successfully. Of course, his own faith was challenged in the context of the primary campaign by the disclosures of the interesting videotapes of Reverend Jeremiah Wright. We can perhaps talk about that in the discussion. I think it would merit some commentary. But the one thing that I think we should all recognize about Reverend Wright's church is something that President Obama said in that clip, and that is one of the most important things is that it allowed him to live his faith. It made enormous, tangible, positive contributions to the uplift of that community. Faith for President Obama gives him a very definite perspective about human nature. As I often tell my students in constitutional law, the founders had a conception of human nature. It was very pessimistic. It was a conception of human nature that was dark. It was a conception of human nature that man would sin, that man would abuse power if, in fact, he was given any chance to utilize it. Senator Obama recognizes what I would call not a pessimistic view of man, but a realistic view of man, that, in fact, he has a nobility to him, that he indeed was made in an image and likeness of a divine creator, and that, in fact, one can organize society in such a way in which one would be of great service to others. Indeed, his entire life as a community organizer, made fun of by Mrs. Palin, but greatly honored and revered by him, it says much of what his administration is about, namely working from the bottom up, not displacing individual actors who can do good, but recognizing where they need resources and they need opportunities and they need training to empower them to accomplish that. That is the ethic by which he lives, and of course we started that on Monday with the National Day of Service, and I'm happy to say that Pepperdine participated in that through its legal aid clinic, and maybe many of you participated in other ways as we were doing so in the nation's capital as well. It very much framed the relationship of faith that Senator Obama has to transforming this culture and this country for the good. I'm already being given the 1-minute signal, so I'll reserve everything else for the commentary. Thank you.